Hey, what's going on, y'all? This is Travis from Chasing Anthems, and today I'm coming at you guys with a gear review. Typically, we're doing reaction stuff on this channel, but today I wanted to talk a little bit about a new piece of equipment I purchased, which is the Epiphone AJ-45 ME Masterbilt guitar. Now, if you would have asked me a couple years ago would I ever purchase an Epiphone, I would have told you there's no way. You know, I'm a Gibson guy through and through. I love American-made guitars. There's something about just having a piece of history, and whether it's vintage or brand new, it's one of those things. They're collector's items. They gain equity down the road. They're investments if you hang on to them. And there's just something about having that quality of a guitar. But this last year, I really got to thinking about it. I had, prior to this particular acoustic, I was playing a Taylor 414 Custom, and I just wasn't using it that often. I'd play in church. I would play with our band when we were doing acoustic sets, but I really felt guilty hanging onto this guitar that wasn't getting that much use out there, since I primarily play an electric guitar when we're doing live performances. So, I said, I'm looking for something like a workhorse, something that, I don't need to worry about the condition, that when I go out there and play, it's got the tonal quality that I'm looking for, and if it gets beat up, it gets beat up. But, if I only play it maybe a dozen or 2 dozen times a year, I'm not going to feel guilty hanging on to this really expensive guitar when I'd rather be purchasing pedals, amps, other things that I'm using on a regular basis. So that led me down the journey of finding an affordable guitar, and this is where we landed. So today I'm not going to come from a technical perspective. I'm not going to give you all the specs. There's a million videos out there that talk about, from, head to toe, everything that you need to know about this guitar from a technical standpoint, from a luthier's perspective, or someone, who can set up guitars and all that kind of good stuff. Now, my perspective is more from a player. What works for me, what doesn't work for me. Did it meet the sound and the tonal qualities I'm looking for, or was it a waste of a purchase? And so I'm going to go through all that kind of good stuff. If you're looking for the technical stuff, there's tons of great videos out there, and I recommend you to go check them out. But when I'm looking for a piece of equipment, I want to know, does it sound good? Is it going to do the job for me? And is it going to, stand the test of time? With that being said, if you guys are new to the channel, you know what to do. Please consider subscribing. Hit the bell to be notified of future videos. Like, comment, share, do all that kind of good stuff. Greatly appreciate the love, and support local small bands trying to do their things, and that's what Chasing Anthems is all about. All right, well, let's dive into it. So this is it, the AJ-45 ME. ME, I believe, stands for the Masterbilt Edition, and I'm not even 100% sure if they still make the Masterbilt, to be honest with you. When I was doing some research and I was looking on Sweetwater, they don't even currently sell it right now. So the nice thing is with Reverb and Craigslist and all the other online sites you can get this guitar for extremely cheap. I think I paid just south of $500 for this guitar, and for, what it has to offer, I feel like that was an extremely fair price. New might be double that, not 100% sure. Like I said, I couldn't find Sweetwater currently selling this. I'm not sure if there's a limited run on the Masterbilt series, but yeah, check out all those used or secondhand sites, because you can find a sweet deal and find something that's extremely playable and fits your budget as well. So let me go over some of the things that I really like about this guitar and what I was looking for when I was looking for a budget-friendly guitar. The first thing is, as I mentioned before, I had a Taylor 414 Custom, beautiful guitar, looked great, played great. But I wasn't really finding all of those mid and low end tones that I was really searching for. Now, I found with the jumbo body, and I think a lot of it's more of the body per se than, trying to compare an Epiphone to a Taylor, because it's apples and oranges, and it's two different leagues, to be honest with you. But what I found is that this jumbo body relative to the 414 Custom just has so much more of the deeper tone, the richer tone that I was looking for. Also, a lot of that has to do with the string setup that you're playing and the different types of strings. And when I first purchased this, I had some really light gauge strings on here because I typically will play lead. And when I switched to a heavier gauge, I started to find those richer tones that I was looking for that I just could not get out of the Taylor. And I did everything with that Taylor to try to get it to sound the way I wanted to, and it never really did it for me. The neck feels nice. It's not the longest range. It's hard to get up in those higher frets. But, I mean, what do you expect, right? For that price range in this style of guitar, obviously, being a dreadnought, not having the cutaway, it's going to be a little bit more difficult. But that's just because that's the style that I selected in the body style. What are you going to expect? But as far as the feel of the neck, it feels really nice, easy to press down on the frets. It's not over thick. It's not too thick. It's not too difficult. And it's not also too thin, because I think that's a problem as well sometimes when you have a very narrow neck that, if you got big chunky fingers like I do, that can be a little challenging. It kind of feels very much like a Gibson, right in that pocket, right? That's what they're known for, is just making extremely playable, lovable guitars. And that's what I find with this Epiphone. It'll never be a Gibson. It'll never be valued at a Gibson, but it has a lot of the familiar characteristics, obviously, because it was designed after the traditional J-45. So some of the things that I'm not really excited about. Obviously, the nut on an Epiphone is going to be low end. It's not going to be, bone or, one of your more high quality ones. And to be honest with you, I do need to do a little neck work because I am getting a little bit of a buzz, not too bad, out of my high E. Now, granted, a lot of that could be due to weather and when it was traveling that it twisted and it just needs to be reset a little bit. But that's definitely on my to-do list. Another thing, the saddle would need to be upgraded. Wasn't really impressed with this particular piece. Actually popped off, which wasn't too surprising when I changed the strings, but it's definitely something on my list that I want to replace. But the worst part about it all, the pickups, the Fishman pickups. Now, when you're comparing, and I've seen a lot of shootouts online between the Gibson AJ-45 and the Epiphone, the Gibson J-45 and the Gibson AJ-45. This is one of the downsides, is going to be the pickups. They put a much lower end Fishman pickup. The Sonic NanoFlex, I believe, was in the Epiphone. Now, granted, I bought this guitar used, so, hey, that comes with the territory. Things aren't going to work like they are brand new. Who knows what wear and tear happened prior to me. But right out the gate, I could not get this Fishman pickup to work. There was an intermittent connection in here that was shorting out. But honestly, when I was able to get it to engage and to play, I was not impressed by it by any means. And so I ripped it out. I got it out of there. And I would recommend, depending on how much you're playing, are you recording, are you playing live, or are you just kind of, messing around and having a good time with your buddies? If you are doing more on the other end where you're actually performing live and you're recording, I would highly recommend replacing that pickup. And I did. So the pickup I landed with here is called the Mag Mic. Here, I'll put that up there. It's a Seymour Duncan. The thing I love about the Mag Mic, and actually this is the very last one I found on Amazon. I'm sure you can find it elsewhere. And there's other pickups similar to this, but I think Seymour Duncan is a pretty solid brand. I've had great experience. I have my guitar build that I'm going to be showing in the future. I put Seymour Duncan hot rails. Extremely excited about that and happy with the outcome. I think the quality speaks for itself. But this particular pickup is not only your magnetic pickup, or your traditional pickup, I should say, but it also has a microphone as well. So you have a volume, and this isn't a pitch for Seymour Duncan by any means. If you want to sponsor us in the future, Seymour, we'd be happy to talk about that. But just wanted to quickly talk about, when we do get into the guitar demo here, why it may not sound the same as some of the others out there, because I enhanced the pickup. But it's got a volume for the traditional pickup, and then for the microphone, it's got a second volume, which is nice because you can blend it in and kind of find that tone that you're looking for. And that's really that was the journey that I was on, and what landed me with this particular guitar. So with that being said, but it doesn't have any tonal adjustments to where, you know, the more traditional, the other line of, you know, Fishman and other pickups that are out there, you know, they have the onboard tone or the EQ that you can mess around with. I have an EQ pedal, which I highly recommend if you're a guitar player. You know, I just throw it in line with all of my other stuff, my tuner, and, you know, that gives me more control to get the sound that I want. And playing from show to show in different venues, you know, I'll tell you what, we've had sound guys that care and that really try to dial that in. And then we have other guys that really, it's just plug and play. They could care less. And so it gives me the flexibility on my pedal board to be able to make the adjustments I want and get the sound that I'm looking for. And then, you know, they can deal with on the house side what they want to deal with to try to get the mix. But from my experience, I mean, unless you're at a next level where you actually have a sound engineer or guitar tech who's working with you, having your own pedal to make, you know, those little dials here and there makes a world of a difference. Because if you're not playing the way you want to sound, you know, then your confidence goes down and it goes from there. But anyways, I swapped the pickup. One other thing I couldn't find is it didn't come with a gig bag. And I've been to 2 different guitar shops now, and nobody seems to carry the jumbo bag, whether hard shell or soft case. So that's going to be something I'm going to have to order online, which is challenging, especially when you're going out and gigging. But I think that's more of just my own personal issue, just trying to find things given within my area. Doesn't have anything to say with the guitar. I think it holds fairly good. You know, the tuners are fairly well as far as keeping in tune. These are your traditional, I can't remember what they call them, the gear tuners. I've debated maybe upgrading those down the road, but for the time being, they work, they look cool, and they seem to get the job done. So, hey, enough of me talking. Those are just my experiences. To each their own. Playing music, finding guitars is really your own journey and trying to find your own sound. But if this is a guitar that you've been looking into, just kind of wanted to share my feedback, my experience with it, and give you guys a demo of what it sounds like. Keep in mind, I am tuned half step down, so I'm playing in D sharp, not E standard. So yeah, let me know what you guys think. Hey, thanks you guys for tuning in. If you guys are new to the channel, please do me a favor, subscribe, hit the bell to be notified of future videos, like, comment, and share, and then go check out some original stuff. I got links to everything down in the description box below. We greatly appreciate you guys, and I hope to see you on the next video. Peace.